handle the truth.
And that's my job. Hi, I'm Jim Price, the Jim Price Show Daily Update. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Oh, the government told me what date it is, so I can never be wrong. Right, government? We love each other. All right, we're going to call it July 21st. It's a Twinsday. Twinsday? I don't think it's Twinsday. I think I'm going to go Tuesday. Tuesday, 2026. Well, guys, thank you so much for being a part of the show. Yes, we have, I don't know. Guys, this whole Iran thing and the voting thing and the election thing and the... Everything's a thing. I'm going to make a comment real quick. I'm going to get back to that, but I guess because nothing's special anymore. But why are airports and airlines ran like they're going broke today? Like every time you go into an airplane, the carpets are crappy. They're not vacuumed. The seats are crappy. There's crumbs in all the seats. The people who are cleaning the plane obviously don't like their job or don't want to be there because you see them walking when you're walking out of the plane. They're waiting in the first class seats with their plastic bag there, and they, let me get your garbage. I mean, it's like, is anybody, and I get work is not a joy, but it could be. But why is it that when you go into an airport or you go to an airline, you just feel like you are up against the wall? Like there's nothing they can do. Oh, sorry, we can't ever, sorry, nope, sorry. I was 20 people deep where there were 3 people behind the counter in Dallas at one of the American Airlines counters. And those people were doing. This was their typing. Now, I don't know if you know that, but I don't think that's 100 words per minute or 60 words per minute. But I just got out of the line. I was like, I can't even talk to this person. So then I actually went and talked to a gate agent who just happened to be staying there, nothing going on. I made sure there wasn't a line or anything like that. Walked up, asked them a very specific question, and they gave me the absolute worst information. So then I chased that information down only to find out that then when I got to the next information, that information was completely wrong, and the information I was getting or looking for wasn't even available. So again, I know I flew this weekend, and I love airplanes. I love flying. I love the experience of it. I like the idea of flying and getting somewhere. But why is it that everyone on those planes just acts like they're going to a frickin' funeral? Oh, we're all gonna die someday, so let's act like it today. Why does everybody want to act like they're dying? Like everybody's in those seats going, oh God, I'm in an airplane against my will. You paid $1,000 for that, sir. No, I don't want to go. Ah! Why? Why is airplane experience now so tragic? You get a soda? Well, thank you. I mean, it's just like a soda that everybody else gets? Oh, okay, thank you. I get to pay $59 extra because I wanted this seat? Or how about the people who pick the window seat and then leave the shade down the whole time? Why are you in the window seat? Sir, why are you in the window seat? Ma'am, why are you in the window seat? Why, you don't want to look out the window? Then don't sit next to it. All right, I'm done. All right, so anyway, nothing's special anymore. Nothing is special. Everything is VIP. Everything is MVP. Everything is the greatest of all time. Everybody's a goat. Everybody's a princess. Everybody's a king. Everybody's a god. Everybody's need to be worshipped. And we look around at our government and we wonder why our government can't keep things straight and can't keep things going in an even keel in a certain direction. When everybody who says, hey, no kings, no kings. I'm on my Facebook. I'm a queen. I'm a king. I worship my king. I worship my queen. My queen's the best. He rules my house. She rules my house. My queen, my king. Oh, it's different when you want to choose it, but when Oh, wait, no, you're saying that someone else is a king, but they're not a king, but then you could say you're a king, but you're not a king. Or a queen. Or a whiz, this, piz, jizz, da. I'm just asking for consistency of information so I can move forward and understand what the F you guys are talking about in the government and in society, because I don't know. I was thinking about this today. How, if I was the government, like I was just, I'm just an entity, right? I'm the government. Blech. What a horrible nightmare that is, that I'm the government. Thanks for making me the government. But the government can't make everybody happy. The government can't please everyone. People that they are making happy are not happy because they're being pleased. So I just wonder, guys, if we have MVP'd and participation and everybody's a king and everybody's a queen, but no more kings, no kings protests, but yet the same people on their profiles, you'll see that, like, I'm a king, I'm a queen, like whatever that is. Like, okay, I get it. It's cutesy. It's fun. You know, you're being clever. But, guys, our country is living in a system that, honestly, it's not a system that was built today. And it wasn't broken today. It was, Uncle Barry didn't break it during his time, okay? He didn't break it. Oh, he definitely poured some gasoline on it and didn't piss on it to put it out. He definitely, poured some of that old hot stuff on there. But he didn't try to go out. In fact, if anything, he accelerated it. And there's a lot of evidence behind that. And guys, when I would say that during his presidency or right after his presidency, I was shunned. I was told, well, I just think you're probably a little racist, Jim. I think you're thinking it the wrong way, and I don't think that's how it was really meant to be. I'm like, meant to be? I know what he did to the Tea Party group. I know what he did to the Patriot Patrol. I know what he did to these people. Oh, yeah, remember the Patriots, the motorcycle Patriots that go around to the different military funerals and protect the graves of those military men so they could then mourn the loss of their military personnel from that stupid church from like 10 or 15 years ago? Yeah, Obama went after them too. Oh, yeah, went after the Tea Party. Oh, no, they didn't, Jimmy. It's all been declassified, guys. I don't even have to tell you something and then tell you to try to go find it. It's all been declassified. Guys, this is the part I don't understand. I'm not making up the bad shit. I'm not going and saying, I heard, or, ooh, I think I know, or maybe just possibly could be. This is factual information. This is out there. I'm not. What we're fighting in this idea of what we're up against in today's society, from Iran to Iraq to the EAU to England to all this, is actually 300 to 500 years old, going back through the original banking industry that was created and then is now behind the SWIFT system and the Federal Reserve. And now we know why we're here. But guys, listen, if you know that it's a problem from 200 to 300 years ago, and it's just been trickling and trugging along, and then we got rid of the gold reserve in 1913, and then 1931, we did it again in 1971. We completely went off the silver and to the petrodollar. That's why it took from 71 to 73. America was very, very tumultuous with our financial system. Guys, that's what we're doing today. Everything I just described to you is why we're in this loop today. We're in this thing where we can't seem to get out of it because the fraud has been so big that the fraud wants to keep itself alive like a parasite. So anyway, I want us to really take the time and understand that we don't need to go racing towards a bigger answer when sometimes the answers are right in front of us. All right, let's see here. I am getting ready to do something. Why is it not there? Okay. Oh, there she is. All right. Okay, guys, I am getting ready to bring my special guest on, and I'll let her kind of introduce herself and go through this, but I want you guys to listen to this because everything that, like, we just talked about in this whole financial system of things and where we saw that the stretch was happening, guys, what we're getting ready to hear, the things we're going to hear about are going to be about this because it talks about the authoritarian system that we have been living in and where people are not held accountable for their bad deeds. So, oh, man, I'm going to screw it up. All right, you're going to have to tell me how to say your name. You got to do that for me. Go ahead.
It's okay. It's KELVIA.
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 Oh, See, I knew I was going to say Kelva, and I didn't get the Ia in there. So KELVIA. All right. So KELVIA, thank you so much for being here. KELVIA, I guess you probably don't have a website or a book or anything, but go ahead and introduce everybody and tell us about your former employment and then where we can go from there.
All right, awesome. Well, my name is KELVIA Campbell, and I'm out here in Phoenix, Arizona. And I am a previous employee for Turning Point Action. So I worked for a sector of Turning Point,
Mm-hmm.
which is Charlie Kirk's organization. I'm originally from Kentucky, which you might be able to tell. Um, and I made a deal with God, and I said, if I can get a job with Turning Point and Charlie Kirk, I will move across the country. I'll pack up and drive 27 hours. And I ended up landing the job. Before that, America Fest, that was Charlie Kirk's annual convention every year at the downtown Phoenix Convention Center.
Yep.
And I went there in 2023, and
I
I
was there.
actually got,
I was there
oh,
too.
good.
Yeah, I've been 4 times. So yeah, but I don't know
Awesome.
sure if I'll make it this year. I just feel like there's some things that are going on there. But anyway, so you talked to God, and God said, "Hey, I got an opportunity for you. You go there, you get to Turning Point, and now what happens next at Turning Point?"
I become a field representative, and which basically I represent the brand out in the field. I wasn't at headquarters.
Mm-hmm.
Our headquarters is in Phoenix, and I was a field representative. So I was basically like an ambassador. I represented the brand, and I do have an X handle. X was a platform that we used a lot
Mm-hmm.
to build the brand, and yeah, I basically did. I tabled. I got involved in Arizona local politics. I became a precinct committee woman
Yep.
in
Perfect.
the
Perfect.
legislative.
Everybody be a precinct head. That's the biggest lack of people on earth is precinct heads. Of all the positions and all the elected things, you can be an elected official for the rest of your life. You can be what do they call them? An honorable. When you become an elected official, you become an honorable. So you can be an honorable for the rest of your life. Just go be a precinct head. That's it. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, I became a precinct committee woman, got involved in Republican women's groups. That's kind of what we were instructed to do, was kind of get involved in local Arizona politics.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Turning Point Action is a 501c4, so that was more the political arm of
Okay.
Turning Point. Turning Point USA was the 501c3. So we were able to actually endorse candidates, host Trump rallies. Did you make it to any of the Trump rallies out here?
I did the one down in by the prison, Florence. I always think of the prison down there, but Florence, Arizona. I did the one in Florence. Were you a part of that one?
Okay.
That was
No, I
22.
wasn't.
Was that 22? I think that was in 22. Was that when it happened, or 23?
Oh yeah, no, I didn't arrive till 2024 for the
Oh,
2024
yeah. So this was back. Yeah, this has been several years ago. So I went to that one out there. Okay.
No, awesome. Yeah, so I wanted to come out here and help with the 2024 election. I wanted to get Trump in office. That was my one of my sole purposes for coming out here, and we did accomplish that. It was a lot of work. But how I got the job, I did see Charlie. I was able to see him in 2023 at America Fest,
Mm-hmm.
and I stood in line so he would sign my book. His book, College is a Scam.
Right.
And I had him autograph my book, and I told him, I said, I want to work for Turning Point. I said, I'm applying, and I'm going to work for you someday. And he just kind of smiled and fist bumped me. And after that, I was able to land it.
Wow. Well, sometimes that internal confidence is just enough, isn't it? It's just like, if you put yourself to it, like, hey, I want to, one of my statements, I want to live to 144. But if we never ever say how old we want to be when we die, don't be surprised when you die at 30. Right? Because you didn't put a number on it. So if you don't put intention and you don't put something behind it, you're like, well, the mailman never showed up with my $1 million. Well, was he supposed to deliver it? Do you know that for sure? I mean, what are you talking about? So go out and get your own. So you went up, you shook the hand of the man, right? So you went up there and you said, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to work for you. And so what happened after that?
I applied. I applied to every position that was available. I wasn't really picky. I just wanted to contribute.
Right.
I was actually working at the Kentucky State Capitol at the time, and I realized I wasn't making a difference at all. And I had a coworker approach me, and they're like, "Kelvia, I think you're more made for the ground. You need to be on the ground."
Right.
And I was like, "You know what? I think you're right. This office is stuffy." So that's what I did. I went from the state capitol to grassroots, and because Charlie always said anyone who's involved in politics should start at the grassroots level.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you, yes, if you wanna cut the head out of the snake, I don't think being inside the brain of the snake is gonna get the head cut off. So yes, at the ground level, we tend to really get closer to the ability to be able to make some effects, right? Some real changes in people. I mean, a lot of people, I really do appreciate how many people get out and protest, but we've actually know the statistics inside of all that most of the people that protest never vote. People who vote don't tend to protest. And I know this sounds weird, guys, but you think, oh no, they're going out there, oh, get shot. No, I'm Melissa Good or whatever it is, and I'm. By the way, that wasn't her name, but I had her father on or stepfather on. Anyway, but yeah, the people that protest usually aren't the ones that are voting, and I don't know why we don't appreciate that when we see these people out there getting shot with paintballs and pepper spray. They're not voters. Anyway, go ahead.
So anyway, yeah, I got me a good taste. Most people do it the other way around. They go to grassroots to the office or DC.
Right.
And but yeah, I enjoyed the grassroots. I mean, literally getting my hands dirty, long hours working around the clock. And of course, door knocking and canvassing was a huge thing that we did during the 2024 election.
Absolutely.
I threw these I threw these things called super chases, and basically you set up a tent, you gather everyone, hand out the literature, give instruction, and everybody goes and knocks doors.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. So now, when you started getting into all that, you were having like, did you have? Was there any things that were going on in your mind as you're walking into this? So I remember Turning Point. That was back in 2024. That was a great year for you to go. By the way, if that was one of the years you went, 24 was probably the primo year to be at Turning Point. Last year, I was highly, highly disappointed at 25. And that's just a personal opine. I'm not, trying to just dictate one thing or the other. But for me, I saw a lot of different types of people there that I did not see the predominantly 70% of 30 and younger. I did not predominantly see a lot of classy dressed young people there. So anyway, so for you, you went on 24, you got on that path. And so what happened for you then after that when you got in the door? What happened for you there?
I hit the ground running. A lot of people told me, you came in at a very interesting time because, we got to hit the ground running with the 2024 election. So I jumped in, did whatever I could. We did several Trump rallies. I want to say that we hosted 7 or 8, and I live close to Glendale, Arizona, and there's the Desert Diamond Arena, and we had one there. We had one at Dream City Church, and then, of course, the State Farm Stadium is where the memorial was. We didn't have a Trump rally there, but that's all in the same city.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely it is. So as you went through this, what was the evolution of things for you going through that election? What was the things that you saw?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I received, some antagonism with tabling. Tabling is something that we do. That's something Charlie started, set up a table at college campuses.
Yeah.
That was, 2024. I don't know. Would you say it was the peak of the wokeness? And so there was a lot of that going on, a lot of wokeness. People would approach me at the table that were transgender or gay, and tell us that we were hateful. um Candace Owens was a part of Turning Point when she exposed BLM, so all
Right.
those activist groups obviously did not like us. I had the honor of attending two of Charlie campus tours, one on ASU and one at GCU.
Right.
And that was really interesting. I mean, I literally got to stand beside him while he debated by his tent.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a sight to see. And it just seemed like the more 2024 progressed, the more red hats you saw in the crowd, like just a sea of red hats.
Right, right. Well, now as this whole thing is going on for you, and now you go through that, what did you do? Did you do a lot? And I know that I've had several whistleblowers and other people on the show that did, they were door knockers. They were going and doing the, checking the voter register that, one address had 500 registered people in it. Did you find that you were running into that in your voting, the door knocking you were doing in the groups, or how was that for you guys when you were going door knocking?
Going door knocking, that I didn't see anything shady like that. Turning Point Action has an app,
Mm-hmm.
and it lists all the low propensity Republican voters. So that's what we were really targeting.
Yep.
But I will say this, I was kind of surprised after door knocking post the election for more local races. There was a lot of people, like a lot of Republicans, that had resentment towards Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And during the time, he just basically spanked Zelensky in front of everybody on national television, him and JD Vance did.
Right.
And I found a lot of Republicans were offended by that.
Really?
Like, yeah, they're just like, he was mean to Zelensky. I can't believe he acted like that. And I was like, this is what I've been waiting for. I've
Right.
been waiting for a president to put his foot down and actually, tell this world leader, hey, we can't fund you all the time.
Right.
Like, we can't
Yeah.
fund you, and you're going to come in the Oval Office and act like a brat and just expect things.
Yeah.
And I told voters that I was like, I didn't have an issue with the way he treated
Right.
Zelensky at all.
Right.
And also, I noticed that a lot of them had an issue with Elon,
Right.
and that's when Doge was going on.
But see, we got to remember that, and this is the part. And I like how you're telling the story, and you're kind of slowly walking into this part where you're hearing the part where the propaganda took hold. And guys, we
Yes.
use the word propaganda, like I said earlier. Nothing's special. Everything's propagandized. Everything's MK Ultra. Everything is this. Everybody's special. Everybody's a queen. The propaganda that we are experiencing that has been on turbocharged since 2014 in our country, you're seeing the evidence in that firsthand. When you're saying right after the election, someone said, I don't like that he was mean to Zelensky, that is a key to a program. They were programmed to say those kind of things. So when Trump said, "Oh, you can't wear a pullover sweatshirt into the Oval Office when you're supposedly a leader of a country that wants $300 billion from us, you might want to put on a tie." That's it. When people key off and they get, "I don't like that Trump said it that way." That's programming. That's MK Ultra. So what you experienced in firsthand was a person who honestly voted the way they wanted to, but then MK Ultra flicked this little switch in them and got their emotional thing going, like, well, he shouldn't have yelled at Zelensky. It's like, well, wait, a minute ago he was okay, but now he's not, and that's propaganda. Do you see what I'm saying on that?
Oh, yeah. And take a wild guess what age group that was.
Over 70.
Yes, boomers.
Yep.
And we know, after
over
the
70 and under 30 believe that Trump. It is amazing how hard. Now, I will talk to any kid under 30. I say kid, I'm 55. But anybody under 30, I will say anybody under 30, they will say, I never listen to news. I don't do that. I don't do political. But Trump raped women. I'm like, okay, then how'd you know that? Do you see what I'm saying? How did you know?
they saw a TikTok.
How
They saw
did
a
you
TikTok.
know that Trump raped women and that there was 34 charges? Somehow the propagandized information got into their loop and they were able to repeat that, not because they really had the facts or because they really had an opinion or really know anything. It's just because the propaganda worked. And so they got on the side that they wanted them to be on. And guys, let me tell you this, and I'm going to interrupt your interview on this part of it, but I will tell you at the end of the day, guys, we don't need war. We don't need fights. We don't need to kick each other's ass. We don't need to hate on each other. The only reason we're doing this is because there's a stir stick called government. And if the government doesn't maintain constant chaos, it does not maintain constant control. Constant conflict maintains constant control. And their job is to control you, whether you said to or not. So that's what we're all fighting in this. The propagandized stuff is to keep us all fighting over what's between our legs, what we do in our bedroom, and what color our skin is. That's the 3 things they get us on. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, and we know Charlie shared this out post the election. The boomers went left, and the 18 to 25-year-olds went right.
Yep.
Which is very disappointing. But I tell you the truth, Jim, I've had boomers look me in the face and tell me Trump did not win the election. They look at me dead in the face and they say that, and I'm like, well, who's in the Oval Office?
Right.
And it's amazing to me. I've had boomers critique Trump for golfing. I'm like, you don't think Obama golfed?
He put a basketball court on the White House grounds. What are you talking about? Like, golfing was the problem? I mean, guys, we all do sports. Most boomers played pickleball. So now we're out when we can't do sports because that's not presidential. I mean, then tell Kennedy, quit getting in that boat all the time. Boomer.
Yeah, exactly. And they told me, he deports people and stuff. I was like, Obama deported more people than he did. So we really
I did not know that. I was really embarrassed. I didn't know he deported 12.3 million people. Like, nobody talks about that. I mean, who was he getting rid of? Like, holy crap.
No, he just kept it quiet.
Yeah.
But it's amazing to me. I would walk up to boomers' houses. They would have CNN or Fox right on their TV. I could see their TV on, and they'd have Trump's face would be on there. And you're right. They were just kind of brainwashed. It's the propaganda.
And the sad part of it is, if you're not discerning even what about Fox is saying, you're going to fall into the propaganda. Fox is propagandized. It's not a clean station. And the sad part of it is I wish Newsmax would step up a little harder, or OAN. I wish they'd come up a little bit better with their production stuff and really get in there. But everybody defaults back to Fox, and it's a sad deal.
Yeah, and I will say this, I thought post the election, I guess I had this vision. I was like, man, everyone's going to carry us on their shoulders through town and we're going to celebrate. It was not like that at all.
No.
It was not like that at all. We dealt, like I said, with that age group that had doubts. They said Trump did not win the election. And, and those were the biggest talking points, that he sexually assaulted people and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And the political climate of local Arizona was not even positive. A lot of like legislative districts and certain organizations, they wanted nothing to do with Turning Point after the election. So it was kind of counterintuitive to what I thought it would be.
Right. Well, and see, the thing is, what you had there, which again, I guess is kind of your fault, is you had hope. And how dare you have hope? You hoped that it would be that way. You thought that people would get up and do the right thing by celebrating a victory in the way that we used to build arches for triumph. The Arc de Triomphe, the Arch of Victory. We don't do victories anymore? We don't? Oh, no, that's only for basketball when LeBron James whines and cries on the floor and someone gives him a ring, like a child with a ring pop. So so the disappointment was there because you really thought that there was going to be that elation, right? That woo, let's go do. Hey, you guys get in the streets for a Super Bowl winner, right? You get in the streets for an MLB winner. You get in the streets for a hockey team. Can we do something for us? We won something. Can we do that? Can we celebrate that? No, we can't do that. We're not good. Now we can't do that. Nah. Yeah, we're just gonna go home. We're just gonna go home and go home and bitch about it and hope the world's a better place. That's how you fix. Isn't that what God said in the Bible? Just sit around and bitch about it, and then He'd hear you, and then He'd like, oh, I better go help those guys. Isn't that what He said? Or no, wait, He said, get off your ass and go do something. But anyway, what do I know? What do I know about the Bible? So as we go through this, now you got the letdown, which is, hey, that's the hangover. The next morning, you get a little bit of the hype. You get like, well, I thought there was going to be more party hats, but there wasn't, and that's just sad part of our society. We're non-communicative. We don't socially distance now. We don't socially come together. We don't look at fires. We look at LED lights. We don't help each other. We drive past and call 911 on each other. So as you go through this, now the day after, and you said you had some other supporting elections right after that. So what was that like for you going into that?
I mean, it was definitely, like you said, the kind of the letdown, like the what do you call it? Like the blues after a party,
Yeah,
like the
that hangover.
crash.
It's the hangover
Yeah,
Sunday morning. It's the I should be going to church right now. Yeah.
yeah. And that's how it was. I worked for Tyler Boyer. I'm not sure if you're familiar with who that was. He's the
Uh-huh.
CCO of Turning Point Action. And yeah, he said, we're not stopping. I'm pretty sure the Carrie Lake election, her numbers were down, so we were made to ballot cure, which is basically, go back and, make sure people's signatures are correct, make sure, their vote was counted, which, yeah, curing ballots was definitely not my favorite thing, but
Right.
obviously Carrie Lake didn't win, and that was kind of a weird letdown in and of itself at the
Yeah.
time, because that was the candidate we were pushing for. So it was basically like the Trump election, all that hype, and then we had to kind of help Carrie Lake out to ballot cure. I mean, there were people on like a couple hours of sleep. People were working 10, 20-hour days. I had friends that were spending the night at the office.
Right. Right.
I mean, it was just go, go, go. And then the Wisconsin race, the Wisconsin Supreme Court race, we have people out there. We have a Turning Point headquarters out there, and they deployed us to Wisconsin. And, Scott Pressler was part of that. Elon threw some money towards that, and we lost that election. So honestly, I started noticing a pattern. I was like, dang, we won the 2024 election, which is great. We got Trump in office, but we lost local stuff after that.
Right. Now, as you think about that, now that kind of shows you the ebb and flow of this, that not everybody who says they vote, not everybody who says they're going to vote for your guy votes for your guy or does vote. And there's a lot of
Exactly.
people who do not vote. And this, let me give you a statistic right here. 1% of the Wichita population where I live voted for the mayor
Wow.
that we have currently. Now, and I'm not saying that we didn't have a percentage of registered voters show up. What I said was, of the Wichita population, 1% decided the mayor. 1% of the population, that's all that voted for the mayor.
Wow.
So when we start really slowing down voting and people are like, I vote every time, not your neighbor, not your mom, not your sister, not your brother, because I'm going to tell you what, and by the way, the biggest gap is Christians. Christians vote
Yes.
worse than Muslims. Christians don't vote like Catholics. And I'm not saying Catholics, but like Muslims or Buddhists or any of the other religion type things. Christians vote the least. We
Yes,
vote
they're
the
one of the
least.
top three. They're one of the top three low propensity voters, besides moms and Latinos.
Yeah, think about that.
And
So,
that's what we did. That's what we did. We had coalitions so we could I don't want to say target, but we had a Latinos coalition, a faith coalition, and a moms coalition.
right.
So we could get out the vote. So we could get these people to vote. It's interesting you say that, because at the Trump rallies, of course, there's lines of people waiting.
Mm-hmm.
So they told us to go register voters in line. And you would not believe how many people were not registered to vote standing in the Trump rally line. Well, I guess you could. And it's just like, you're willing to stand in this line for hours, but you won't go to like register to vote or go to the DMV. It was crazy.
Well, now think about that, where some states are making sure and registering people that don't want to be registered, and then we have people who can't get registered. Does that make sense?
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, the math, like, like, what was it? New Jersey just happened to have 96,000 accidental registrations for voting. 96,000 times. It's like the
Yeah.
22,000 Nigerian scammers who stole $1.5 billion from the state of Kansas from the unemployment account, that our Treasury Secretary, Lynn Rogers, said that, it was Liberian and Nigerian scammers that took $1.5 billion out of 22 individual accounts from the state of Kansas. When you want to lie to me, I guess I just have to accept it. Do you see where the math goes, how they do this? Or they tell you things and they make you accept it. And just like I said, like, if you need to do this, you need to go and see how many people in Arizona or in Phoenix actually voted for the mayor And then what is the total population of Phoenix, and do the percentages, and you'll be surprised how you're probably 1 to 2% of the Phoenix population elected your mayor. That is how the population works. That's how we have off-year elections here in Kansas, a lot of them. We have a spring and fall election every year. Every year. We have spring and fall elections, and one time it's for the mayor, another time it's for the city council, another time it's for legislators, another time it's for the county commissioners. It is another thing after another thing after another thing. We vote, but then when the presidential year comes, we have very few Kansas votes to pass. Everything else was voted off year. That way they can control it because they know that the finite population actually votes, and it's easier to manipulate than a greater amount. We don't vote every 4 years. We vote every 6 months here. So, again, this is where voter manipulation, all these different things, this is where it all happens. So, as you were going through this process, you saw these things. What else was coming up?
So the Kerry Lake ballot curing, which did not work, and then the Supreme Court race in Wisconsin, we lost that one. And like I said, there was a lot of money and resources put into that. And the one thing that we worked on for a year that I thought was a complete waste of time is there was a Mesa recall for a precinct committee woman named Julie Spilsbury, and this was just all revenge. Charlie had nothing to do with this. I don't even think Charlie supported it, but some of my superiors were just hell-bent on getting this woman removed. I don't think she was the best person, but we poured a lot of money and resources just to remove her. We're talking like local city council, like Mesa, Arizona. And I felt like that in the beginning, my heart was in it.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually one of the top signature collectors on the legacy team, which was like the core team. It wasn't ballot chasers. It was the full-time team that represented the brand. And I was a top signature collector. And then it got to a point where I'm like, why am I carrying out this revenge for somebody?
Mm-hmm.
And
But what you're pointing out, though, I got to interrupt you for a second. You're pointing out that there was a personal effect. This was not about a conservative, traditional movement. This was, I don't like her. And so how did they differentiate themselves from the Democrats when I don't like her ruled the campaign?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And we're seeing it now, not to jump too far ahead, but post Charlie's death, I'm seeing a complete reversal. I'm obviously not a Turning Point fan anymore, but they turned in to the left.
Yeah,
like they're using left tactics. And
did you see that newest one they had about the event? That's something about Girls Gone Wild, Girls Gone Bible. Have you seen this one? Just came out today.
Not.
Yeah, Girls Gone Bible. So they're using the Girls Gone Wild reference when when the girls showed their boobs all the time at spring break. They're using that reference as Girls Gone Bible. That's the new campaign push.
Like Erica Kirk is?
Yes, from Turning Point. Erica Kirk is going on tour for Girls Gone Bible. And that was something
what happened to Making Heaven Crowded tour?
Well, you do that by I don't know. I don't know. Girls Gone Bible? That sounds great. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very appropriate.
Well, the sad part of it is that we know that this happens to all organizations. We know that good organizations, just like the internet, when the internet was invented, it was about moving files back and forth, about being able to be more productive and more creative, and now it's 90% porn. Now, does that mean when you turn your phone on or your laptop that there's boobies everywhere? No, dummy. You have to go put that in your search bar and ask for it by name. It doesn't happen. I hate how childish we can. I don't know how to vote. I'm a color and I don't know how to do this. And boobies are everywhere on the internet. We got to ban the internet. Like, guys, stop. We're all adults. Act like it. But everything in its infancy, just like Turning Point, when Charlie tried to start this, what was his point? His point was one person, not stadiums, not organizations, not groups, not any of that. Just one person I could talk to and say, why do you believe that? Convince me. Let's work this out. And usually when people articulate their reasons and they start to come to a common ground, that's where we find a better us. But that's not what we've done here. We're going to do Girls Gone Bible now, right? Is this the new event thing we're going to do? And I don't understand why that's an okay thing to do that. Yeah, Women's Leadership Summit. Is this it? Yeah, Women's Leadership Summit in June. Is that the one? I saw it was an advertisement. I apologize. But you jump in there. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. What I was just going to say is, I was talking about this with, which I did an interview, by the way. I didn't know if you saw it, but it was the ex-producer of Charlie. He'd worked for Charlie since he was 15 in a close capacity, and he was doing producer work. And we were talking about how, when Charlie started off, it was organic, it was raw, it was just a man on campus with a table debating people.
Right.
And he had a goal, Big Gov sucks was his whole thing.
Yeah.
And now turning point, I don't think they believe the government sucks anymore. I think they're in bed with the government, actually.
Well,
So,
we'll call that the shadow government that wears doilies on their head. Let's just call it what it is, okay? And the sad part of it is that when we see money and when we see influence, it's no longer hiding from us. We used to not know that Peter Jennings was a CIA operative, but we know now in declassified documents that Peter Jennings, ABC News Tonight, was a CIA operative. Just like Brokaw, just like all the other news guys and all the ones that are on there now, they're all CIA. And we know that MK Ultra released all that information. I wish that we could get back to the simplicity of what Charlie had in the beginning, because that's what worked, and it was simpler that way. But now we see where this money comes in, and the lavalier exploding in his chest, causing the death, causing his disappearance, causing his removal from the stage. I don't have the answer on that one, guys. I don't believe. The problem is I can't say he's dead, because there's way too much weird shit happened about that. There's no released videos and no released photos, no accidental photo releases, no accidental video releases of any of the damage to his body or the blood. Tell me where you can see that. Tell me, where are you with that?
Well, I'm just going to be honest. In my opinion, I think the organization was hijacked. I think this has been in the making for a long time. And, Erica actually did not tell the truth in this kind of recent interview. She said that Charlie single-handedly picked all the leadership, and that's not true. Tyler Boyer picked out a lot of the leadership, and the producer that I was speaking with, Erica acts like she's been around and a part of this organization the whole time. That's also not true. The first year that I worked there, I didn't even know what she looked like. I would have had to go on Instagram and look.
Right.
She was not around.
I never heard of her either. And I was there for 4 years in a row, and I do a lot of the people. 90% of the people on stage I know personally. At Turning Point. Yes. I know and I've never heard of that chick until all of a sudden Erica Kirk became a thing when he died. I'm like, well, okay, cool, Erica Kirk. And then all of a sudden now she's doing leather pants, and I don't know what she's doing. She's trying to, I don't know, she dresses like a boomer's dressing her, but she's trying to dress like she's 20, like a boomer's dressing a 21-year-old. I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense or not. Because you're not, at that age, you're not wearing leather pants and sparkly sequin things, and I don't know.
Not unless you're Cher.
That's good. I like that.
Well, not unless you're Cher.
Dave Glovin, yes, you're right. I saw the Facebook is actually really shadow banning my program right now. My image is actually blurred most of the time. Hers is not. Yeah, I'm sorry, you're sitting on this side of me. Yours is not, but my image keeps coming up blurry. I've noticed that on Facebook. So anyway, wow. Dave, you're absolutely right. There, the hidden hand is always there for you. So now, guys, listen. I am not a anti-Turning Point. I am not anti-Kirk. I'm not anti-Erica Kirk. I'm not anti-Jew. I'm not anti-Israel. I'm not anti-American. I'm not anti-Christian. I'm not anti-Muslim. I'm not anti-Baptist. But there seems to be a traumatic shift away from what Charlie was doing, and they keep trying to say this is what Charlie really wanted. Well, if it's really what he wanted, why didn't he do it for all the years that he did it before she ever showed up?
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
I mean, you're the first person I feel like I can kind of have this conversation. So I just,
Yeah, just let me know how far down the rabbit hole you want to go.
Well, let's do this. Let's do
Um,
this. And we're going to say this. Everything on the Jim Price show is completely made up and not factual. Everything we do here is completely conjecture. We're making a joke and none of it's real. So please don't take us
it's a
seriously.
legend.
And I play a doctor on TV because I'm not one in real life. All right. My
The
problem is that
pretender.
I only can ask you to tell me the truth. And if you could tell me the truth without your spin on it, without your moxie or whatever your thing, then give me that. And I want to hear it. I want to hear the truth about what it was and what you saw, and then the internal conversations. I don't need cattiness that someone didn't like you or whatever. I'm not being mean to you. I'm just giving the ground rules for it so everybody knows what we're saying here. I'm just
Sure.
saying, just give me just the facts. You know, hey, I saw this. All of a sudden, we're not praying before the meetings. We're not praying at the end of the meetings. We're not talking about the Bible. We're talking like Democrats. We're talking about, so just give me just the straight facts, and then we'll go from there. Oh, and you only got about 5 minutes, so this is this is going to end the show here. So you go ahead and not launch in right into it. Go ahead.
Oh wow. Okay, so let's just jump right into post Charlie's death.
Yeah.
There was a big difference, and there's a lot of the leadership was just insensitive. And I'm not a weak person. After Charlie died, I didn't want to leave my apartment. I didn't want to see anybody. I kind of sat at home, and I know this sounds crazy, but like I started connecting the dots, and I was like, stuff really is starting to make sense. And the way Turning Point handles, major changes like that and scandals is we don't talk about it. Nobody's allowed to talk about it. That's kind of like an
That's
internal
propaganda.
memo.
That's propaganda. But whoa, 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 whoa. What you just said, if you can't talk about it, it's propaganda. Does that make sense?
Right.
If whatever, so
Yeah.
they're keeping you from talking about a thing. The idea of not talking about it is the propaganda part, not the part you could tell the truth about. But when they silence you, that's the propaganda. And people don't think of propaganda in the actions of. But anyway, continue on.
Yeah, real quick, I'll summarize
Yeah.
all of it. We were instructed not to engage in social media with the conspiracy theories. If you had any other opinion or entertained any other narrative or theory, you needed to go, they would tell you to go touch grass. They would tell you that you're crazy. They were quick to label Candace Owens as mentally ill. This is mental illness. And I tell this because it's significant. This is when I really discovered the communism. And what I tell people is if you drive by headquarters right now in Phoenix, it looks like a compound. It has gates, there's guards. I mean, it's just crazy. But anyway, so October 1st, okay, we're talking October 1st. He died the 10th. The memorial was the 21st. On October 1st, I get a phone call from my superiors, and they tell me that I tagged somebody in a post on X. Mind you, the post was completely unrelated to Turning Point. It was actually about that poor Ukrainian girl that got stabbed on the subway.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I tagged the wrong person in that because after Charlie died, this third party, was being vocal about how he felt about Turning Point, how they handled Charlie's death, and, some of the conspiracies were coming out then.
Mm-hmm.
And I got scolded for that, just for affiliation, just for tagging someone in a post. And they noticed it within seconds that I had done that I
Right.
published that. And I
Hey,
get
we've all,
call.
hey, you ought to see some of my posts. The writing on some of my posts is all jacked up because they went in and changed it after I sent it out. But odd tag posts are happen all the time. That's not a sin. Like, anyway.
And yeah, this person previously worked for the organization. He was a ballot chaser, and I was actually introduced to him from the organization. They assigned me to work on a project with him. So, you know, my enterprise director calling me and demanding to know what type of relationship do you have with this person, and all this other stuff. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's in Young Republicans. He was going to run for mayor. Like, this person. We've had a
Right.
conversation about this person. But this is the communism I'm talking about. You are not, as soon as Charlie was buried, if even that's what happened, cremated, buried, Erica won't tell us either way. So, this communism started. Like, you can't talk about this, look the other way. If you better not like any of Candace Owens' post or engage her or comment on there. And yeah, you weren't allowed to do any of that, and you can't have your own opinions. I noticed that even before Charlie died, because I had a lowly position. I
Right.
was a peasant on the ground. Like, Charlie got so busy and so big, he didn't know what was going on the ground. He
Yeah,
didn't know what was going on, and they kept that from him intentionally. They kept
absolutely.
stuff from him, and they kept him isolated so he wouldn't know what was going on.
Now,
And
that right there, guys, that explains it all. Okay, and if anything that she just said in this last hour, right there, what you're sitting this side of me. Quit moving. Uh, you're not that side. This, not your head. You're fine. You did great on the. You did great on location, by the way. Good job on that. But
okay,
no,
awesome.
everything she said about what all this whole hour led up to the very moment where she just said that Charlie didn't know. And I think there's a lot of things that Charlie didn't know. I think there's a lot of people went out of their way to make sure he didn't know. And that tells me that omission is lying, omission is deceit, omission is not being Christ-like. So when they left that information out for him, they wasn't giving it all to him, and they were trying to do other things, subversion and all that stuff. And by the way, what about the $10 million life insurance policy? What about all the other stuff that just happened to be to some off corporation that has nothing to do with Turning Point? Guys, there are so many things behind the Charlie Kirk thing about, and I listed very few of the issues that I have had with this thing, and I've been very quiet about it. But there are things out there that have absolutely that look like 9/11 the whole way. So Pearl Harbor, 9/11, and Charlie Kirk are all in the same thing. All
Oh
right.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here. I did have to get you out of here. I apologize. We ran out of time. I was trying to give them all the pre-story and all that, but what you just gave us, a lot of us have had these things in there, but we'll have to talk about it another time maybe and get you back in here, and we'll kind of delve into, or maybe we'll do an after hours paywall, something or other that people have to. People want to find that information, and maybe that's what we'll do for them. But I do appreciate what you did today. I was getting shadow banned already from the conversations we were having. Your name is on the title block. We are live streaming, so the internet knows it's you and what bad things you've done. Bad you. So that was you look like a mean person. You do. You're horrible. Oh, it's horrible having you on here.
I am.
I'm getting ready to cry. It's been so bad. Anyway, so I do appreciate you being here. Give us your name one more time.
Kelvia Campbell.
And
My X handle is conservative KFC. That's what I go by.
very good. Conservative KFC. Find her on Twitter over there, guys. Thank you so much for being a part of the show, and I'm going to get you out of here, all right?
Yeah, thank you.
All right, talk soon. Bye-bye. All right, what a great interview that was with KELVIA and KELVIA. I mean, I think I'm still screwing it up right now, aren't I? We got to get back to the scene there. There we go. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for being a part of the show today. And what a great bit of information. I knew she was going to get to that last part there, and I'm kind of glad we didn't do too much on it, only because there's a lot of information I have from financial people. There's a lot of information I have on other things. We all know that a caliber .30 weapon would have taken the head off of him and somebody behind him if he would have been shot with a 30-06. By the way, the 06 is actually the year it was designed. Has nothing to do with the caliber of the bullet. Anyway, but this is things we know, we understand. So please, guys, don't hate the messenger. I'm just trying to get to the facts of this, and I don't have everything nailed down. But I do believe things like 9/11. I do believe things like Korea, Vietnam, Pearl Harbor. All these things were actually initiated by our government to create chaos and keep us in control and fear. All right, that's about it for me. Remember the 10% we do for our neighbor, community, city, county, state, the federal government. The more you do for them, the less they have to do for you. Learn how to be selfless and not so damn selfish. The world will be a far, far better place. Remember, hold the line, hold fast. Do not give up. Do not give in. We'll win. I promise. I don't make promises I can't keep, guys. You've always been that answer out there. Remember that whole Constitution thing? Well, that limits the government, but never limits you. Please, guys, understand that this is necessary for you guys to stand up, be precinct heads, get on the ballot, do something for your country. Quit complaining, because if you don't believe the country's going to be great, it will never be great. And I do believe we're going into an amazing time. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I'm Jim Price, the Jim Price Show Daily Update. You guys all be good to each other out there, and I will see you guys tomorrow.